My name is ORIYOMI PAMELA OTUKA. I'm a Deputy Director, Curator of National Museum of Unity, Aleshiloye, Ibadan. I'm the administrative head here in the National Museum of Unity, Ibadan. As a curator, I take charge of activities here in National Museum of Unity, representing the Director General, Mr. Olugbile Holloway, the Director General of National Commission for Museums and Monuments, talking about the various aspects of the museum, the taking care of the compound, how it's being maintained, taking care of the objects, the reason why we are here, and the various things to make the Unity Museum globally known to the world is my responsibility and that of my colleagues. The National Museum of Unity was actually established in 1976 and is the first Unity Museum in Nigeria. Okay, the idea of the Unity Museum was conceived by the head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, who after the Civil War observed that our cultural artifacts could serve as a basis for our unity among the diverse ethnic groups in the country. And so he made a public pronouncement that a Museum of Unity should be established in each state capital of the Federation. So the Unity Museum here in Ibadan happens to be the first Unity Museum that we have in the Southwest. And it's a place where you can come and see holistically, where you can see the whole Nigeria. I mean, I'm talking about the artifacts in the place. And these artifacts are put in place to foster unity among the diverse group of people that we have in Nigeria. The Unity Museum is such that we have lots of objects there. We have objects that has to do with religious, cultural, and historical values, all in one place. We use these objects as a symbol of our cultural heritage. And most of these our objects, they are either gotten through donation, loans, archaeological findings, bequests, or sometimes purchase, we buy. Most of the time we buy. And once we get all these things, we do what we call a proper documentation on most of these objects. The Unity Museum here, we have various departments. All the various departments in National Commission for Museums and Monuments are all here. We have the research department, we have the museum department, we have the antiquity protection and conservation unit, we have the heritage monuments and sites, and others. They are all here in the Unity Museum. We all work together to make the National Museum a better place for our visitors to come and look at our object. The one that the museum is well known for is the educational role that we play in the museum. We have the educational department, and their role is to take the museum to schools. So apart from we having the educational department officers going to schools to go and to take the museum to schools, because sometimes we just don't wait for the people, for visitors or for children to come to the museum. Sometimes we feel that it is time we to move out of the museum. We sell the museum to the schools and we are invited to come to the schools. So we go to the schools and we sell the schools to them for them to know what we are doing here. So we also do a lot of museum programs, and when we do these programs, we involve the community, because if the community are not involved, we have not started educating them. We're educating the people close to us. So we do educational programs. We invite schools. We invite the community. We invite even the one we did recently, Ibadan Warlords. We invited the Mogajis and the Obas in Ibadan, and especially those that were their ancestors were warriors. We had to call them here, and then we showcase it by presenting a drama to them, the drama about how Ibadan, how the third Ibadan came to be. And this were not just performed by us, it was performed by a group called Adamo Adeleke Entertainment Group. We do all these things to project the museum, in a very interesting way to the public. So for us to draw their attention and to bring more traffic to the museum, we present most of our programs to them in a very interesting way to make sure that they are entertained, at the same time they are enlightened, they are educated on the activities of the museum. All the objects are significant. All the objects here in the museum are significant. All the objects here are quite they are valuable. We love and we treat them the same way. But there are some objects that I would say they are well known than the other. And for me, I want to say that some of those ones that are not well known are what I call marginalized, okay? Because they are not what they are supposed to be. I want to tell you about some of these bronzes and some of these classicals, some of these works that were the earliest works that were collected by K.C. Murray and some of our fathers of the museum. So the first one is about the Nok terracotta. The Nok terracotta is one of the oldest and the most significant artifacts that we have in the museum, because it dates back to 1000 BC to 300 AD. The Nok terracotta are important because they provide insights into the early Iron Age civilization of Nigeria, showcasing advanced artistic skills and crucial and cultural practices. So that's why if you see the way the Nok terracotta is made, you will see that there were a lot of intricacies, because sometimes you see a kneeling man genuflecting, a genuflecting sculpture, and you just wonder how that is being molded, So it shows that the artistic skills that were put into it. Then you talk about the Benin bronzes. The Benin bronzes is also very unique in its own way, because it reflects the sophisticated metal working techniques of the Benin Kingdom. That's dating back to the 13th century. It also depicts historical events, royal figures, and cultural practices of the Benin people. Most notably among these Benin bronzes is the Queen Ida ivory marks that is well known and loved all over the world. Queen Ida was a prominent figure in the history of Benin Kingdom in Nigeria. She was the mother of Oba Isege, and Oba Isege ruled in the early 16th century. That's between 1505 to 1550. Queen Idia played a crucial role in the helping of her son secure his throne during a period of civil strife. So some of these roles include military leadership. She was known for her military acumen, and she is credited with leading armies and strategizing victories that secure her son's position as Oba, that is Oba of Benin. She also played the role of political influencer. Her influence extended beyond the battlefield, as she also played a significant role in political and administrative affairs of Benin Kingdom. Another thing she did, another role that she played was that of cultural contributor. She contributed immensely to the arts of Benin, and her reign saw significant development in Benin arts, particularly in ivory carving, and that is why there is a beautiful carving of Queen Idia that is made in ivory that was used in Festac. That was an emblem. It was a symbol of an emblem that was used for the Festac 1977. So the marks was among the the looting of the British during the British expedition of 1897. So Queen Idia's legacy continued to be is still celebrated, because it reflects her pivotal role in the history and culture of the Benin Kingdom. Then we have the Igbo-Ukwu. So there are archaeological findings. And they are gotten from archaeological sites, yes, dating back to the 9th century. They are important because they demonstrate the advanced technology and artistic skills of the ancient Igbo civilization. And looking at Igbo-Ukwu, when I talk about the Igbo tradition, because you will see that the Igbos believe in what they call life after death. And so most of these Igbo-Ukwu were excavated from archaeological sites. And when they discovered them, you could see the remains of the Oba, or the king rather, and where he's being buried, and where most of these ornaments are with him, because they believe that these ornaments will, he will need these ornaments because they believe in life after death. Then we've talked about a little of the classicals. Now let's talk about some of the other things that are also in the Unity Museum here. We have traditional textiles and costumes. I took you around and I showed you some of the costumes of the masquerade that we have from different parts of Nigeria. Then we have textiles. We have Ashofi. We have Professor Ogunsheye donating most of her collections on Ashofi. It was on exhibition for more than 22 years. So we also have calabashes and gods. We have a whole lot of traditional Yoruba marks. Not only Yoruba marks, we have marks from Igbo, Idoma, Igala, and so many other ethnic groups in Nigeria. All these are what we have in the museum, and all of them are equally as important as the earliest works that were discovered. My name is ORIYOMI Pamela OTUKA. I'm the curator of National Museum of Unity, Ibadan.